guys, so today I am bringing you my Bout of Books 11 wrap up. Sorry I didn't post any updates. It's kind of been a bit of a hectic week. I've read a lot, and honestly I kind of devoted most of my time to reading, to be entirely honest. I would think about making a video and then I'd be like, no, I just really need to get through my books. So I read a total of 14 books this time, topping my previous record of 10. Now, to be fair, I had pretty much the entire week off. I only worked 2 days this week. I had a couple social commitments, but nothing too crazy. And yeah, I averaged a little over, at the beginning, 2 books a day. At the end, like a book a day. Towards the end, I got really burned out after my 10th book. Really struggled to keep reading. I was trying to read a novel, and I was like, oh, I've just got 4 more books to go, and I couldn't do it. But I switched to manga. I started reading Attack on Titan, which is really good. So let's get through the books I got through. So I read Shadow and Bone. This was the first book I read. I read this on the first day. I also read Siege and Storm, the second part in this series, and Ruin and Rising, the final book in this trilogy. This is referred to as the Grisha trilogy. It is by Leigh Bardugo. It's basically kind of like magical Russia, which is interesting. I really liked it. I haven't read a lot of fantasy in a while, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Oh, it's different publishing. Interesting. They changed the publisher on the side, I just noticed this. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was interesting. I've heard a lot of people have like a crush on the Darkling, which is a little bit messed up to me, but yeah, it was good. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this. I also read Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend by Katie Finn, aka Morgan Matson. I picked this up because I found out that this is one of her pen names, and I really liked Since You Be Gone. I freaking hated this book. This was terrible. Oh my god, this is a story of revenge. Basically, Gemma, the main character, when she was like 12, her parents split up, and so she decided, her dad started dating somebody else, and she decided she would do anything to split them up, and ended up hurting this girl who was her friend. And then she goes back to the Hamptons. This is all set in the Hamptons. So she goes back, she's like 16, her boyfriend breaks up to her, she goes back to the Hamptons for the summer and runs into this girl and pretends to be somebody else, but it's all convoluted. Honestly, it was crap. I do not recommend this book. I thought it would be fluffy and light and kind of different from some of the books I was reading, and a nice break. It was not. Don't rate this. Next up is Danielle Vega's The Merciless. I read this, A, because of the cover, which is beautiful, and B, just because it seemed like a good book to prep for Halloween. I'm going to be doing Halloween recommendations in October, and I don't read a lot of horror, so I've kind of been trying to read more and more horror. It was good. If you like The Craft, read this. The 90s movie with the witches. Yeah, kind of messed up, but good. Next up is Holly Black's The Coldest Girl in Coldtown. I really enjoyed this. I love Holly Black's writing. Yeah, interesting take on vampires. Much different than some of the other mythologies. I grew up reading Anne Rice, so that's kind of like my ideal vampire mythos, because that was the one that I was the most exposed to when I was younger, but I did really enjoy Holly Black's take on the vampire tale. Next up was Conversion by Catherine Howe. This deals with possession and, not possession, kind of witches, Salem, I don't know. It's hard to explain. There's 2 parallel stories, one about the Salem witch trials and the girls involved in that, one about girls in a preparatory academy who are having weird side effects like fainting, and then, one girl loses all of her hair, one girl has a vocal twitch, which is really interesting. Yeah, so it was hard to kind of understand where it was going in the beginning, and then towards the end, once you start putting the pieces together, it was really good. So this was another one I was reading in preparation for Halloween. Next up, I read Say What You Will by Connie, oh god, it's McGovern. Sorry, on the front it's written in cursive, and I'm terrible at reading cursive. This is about a non-verbal girl and a boy with OCD becoming friends and other stuff. I thought it was pretty good. If you are a big fan of Tifios, I would recommend it. Otherwise, it's one of those teen books where it's good because it explores diversity. It explores people who are nonverbal and how they can be, you know, fully functioning members of society, which I wholly endorse, as well as fully exploring OCD. However, it also kind of feels in the same way Tifios does a bit, in which it's using the diseases as a bit of a gimmick to make their book different. If you took away like the diseases, it would not be an actual interesting book. But yeah, so I liked it, but I also have some qualms about this. I also read Infinite Sky by C.J. Flood, which has to do with travelers, gypsies, travelers, and the relationship between, like, I want to say regular people, but people who, like, live a non-nomadic lifestyle. And the conflicts that come up between them, as well as, like, getting into the wrong crowd and stuff like that. Not the best book. I picked it up because the cover was really pretty, I'll be entirely honest. I was looking for more. I finished, like, my 6 books that I picked out for the readathon, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I haven't read anything about travelers. I'm kind of interested in the culture. It didn't explore that at all. But yeah, it wasn't bad. Next up is The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Bakes by E. Lockhart, who wrote We Were Liars. I didn't love We Were Liars, but I thought I'd give this a chance. It's won some awards, so it won it's a National Book Award finalist, and it won the Prince Award. Basically, it's about secret societies and gender roles. I really enjoyed this, much better than We Were Liars. I'm pointing at my closet because it's in there in a box to be sold. Still can't say I'm the biggest fan of E. Lockhart. I think I'm gonna give anything else she writes a miss. But I thought it was an interesting topic. Gender roles, secret societies, that kind of thing. And then last, which I kind of already alluded to, I read Attack on Titan. This is a series of manga. I only read the first 4 volumes, but it's basically humanity's being slowly wiped out by these things called Titans, which are like giant zombies. Which seems like something I shouldn't want to read because I'm terrified of zombies. But yeah, I really like the art style. It follows the main character to the point where, like, humanity is living behind this giant wall, and one day this Colossus Titan comes along and kicks a hole in the wall and lets in other Titans, and the main character's mother dies. This happens, like, within the first 100 pages or so, so it's not, like, a big spoiler. And he vows to get revenge on the Titans. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series. I used to read a lot of manga when I was younger, like when I was like 14 or so, and I haven't read a lot recently, but with the reboot of Sailor Moon, I've kind of been getting more and more back into anime. I started watching the series as well, which I don't like as much as the manga. I think I'll stick with the manga. It's a little bit more fast-paced and it doesn't, like, drag out as much. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this. That's the first one. That's the second one. The third one. And the fourth one. Yeah, these were really quick reads. I got to the point where I had finished my 10th book and I just was struggling to finish another book. I don't have it with me because I am currently house sitting for a neighbor. Another reason why you haven't seen a lot of videos from me. I just haven't been home. And I was struggling to finish it, and I think I burned myself out a little bit on, like, YA literature, because you'll notice, like, 90% of what I read this week was YA. I decided to I was done school, I didn't have any work, I thought I'd have some fun. So I'm reading The Chaos of the Stars, I think it's called. It has to do with Egyptian gods and stuff like that. I don't know. But I found myself really struggling, so I thought a switch in, like, not genre, but, what is the word? Format is what I would need. Audiobooks kind of take too long, and I thought, yeah, I've heard a lot about Attack on Titan. People have said it's really good, so I'm gonna get the first 4 and just give it a try. But But yeah, so that was my bout of books, what I read. If you guys participated, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys later. This week I'm going to be doing a review of Melville Publishing House's subscription service. Spoiler alert, the review is not good. I will see you guys later. Bye.